I am
Mm.
here with dear sister Alexa Angel. She is an artist, musician, ceremonialist, holistic health and healing arts practitioner, visionary, and founder of Daughter of Earth, a holistic lifestyle brand devoted to feminine restoration and earth-based healing. Her work weaves together ceremonial cacao, womb healing, yoni steaming, herbal medicine, and sacred song as pathways for women to return to their innate wisdom, power, and beauty. So we're going to go into all of this goodness, definitely going to bring in the Mayan wisdom. Let's start with cacao in Guatemala. I would love to hear how cacao has supported your womb healing journey on your path.
Oh, thanks, Danielle.
Mhm.
Cacao showed up as an ally for me many, many years ago, probably about 10 or 12 years ago now. Um, I was just at a time in my life where I was waking up to myself as a spiritual being, and a lot of that was happening with disharmony in my body, and I would have really hard cycles, my menstrual cycle. And um, part of that healing was coming back to the earth and the rhythms of the earth, actually growing food in my garden. And yeah, just awaken this whole um, food as medicine journey for me. And that's how I learned about cacao through a nutritional school that I'd studied with, and originally just connected with cacao as a source of nourishment for my mind, my mood, my body, um, and really like unexpectedly my heart. I was mostly like looking at it from a superfood, as a superfood, which it is, and it's great with having so many minerals and nutrients, antioxidants. Um, but then, yeah, noticing its more emotional effects and how it has held me through such big transitions in my life, and also opening my heart to connect with the natural world in such a new way, that completely changed my world, my perception on this earth. So yeah, it's more than just a heart medicine as well. And I'm realizing how deeply connected to the womb and the feminine cycles cacao is. Um, in the Mayan midwife traditions, which both of us have studied in Guatemala with, cacao is used before and after birth, providing
Oh,
that
really?
nourishing
Wow.
strength. Yeah, bringing that strength back to into the body. It helps the body and spirit prepare for labor, and
Mm,
later integrating that massive transformation that comes from birth. So it is really seen as a plant for those big transitions, holding, softening, guiding us. Um, yeah, so we know from or maybe we don't know, but from a physical perspective, cacao increases the blood flow
mm,
and brings warmth and circulation not only to the heart, but I mean, the heart pumps the blood and circulation throughout the body. And there's a channel in Chinese medicine called the Bao Mai channel,
mm,
meridian that connects the heart and the womb.
mm,
And yeah, there's so much there to explore as well, that it's also connected the heart and the womb through the vagus nerve,
mm,
and so connecting the throat chakra. And so yeah, which can all be like these three power like places in us can be supported by cacao,
mm.
by oats. that heart channel and then bringing that energy down into the womb, up into the heart, and then up into like the higher chakras as well. So yeah, working on that energetic level, um, and emotional, I find that cacao just helps to bring spaciousness to our inner emotional landscapes, especially around our moon time or like the big hormonal shifts, which has been like a big journey for me and trying to like balance my hormones and find like mood, like mood enhancing um supportive allies for that. Cacao has been such a gift. It allows us to feel without being overwhelmed, like to kind of explore this depth that we have in the heart to feel and not be so, um, you know, washed over with the emotional tides. We can actually feel and be present and be held in that by something bigger. And a lot of people, including myself, like feel cacao as a divine mother energy.
Mm.
Yeah, just gently holding, embracing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I also love working with cacao for pleasure practices.
Mm.
It really connects back to the sensation of our body, our sensuality,
Mhm.
that sacred relationship we have with our own body. So it's so supportive in self-love rituals, fertility preparation, sacred union work, using it as a counsel for relationship. And yeah, I've just had the pleasure and honor of supporting a sister through her fertility journey and holding rituals with cacao for her to connect with her spirit baby, for her to connect with her partner in such a deeper way. And this is all really new for her, and it's just impacted her relationship, her like just perception of her fertility, natural fertility journey, because she was also wanting, or not wanting, but she was thinking that she might have to go through IVF and all of that. So just helping bring it back to the earth with the cacao and the natural rhythms and flow and trust. And yeah, it's just been really supportive for that heart womb channel, which is key for conception, not only for babies, but for creativity.
Mhm.
Because our dreams are creative offerings in the world. So when we drink cacao with intention, especially in ceremony, there's a really beautiful remembrance that starts to happen, and that softening and a return to the natural rhythms, to presence. For me, she's like the great mother, you
Mm.
know. He's like she's a divine mother in a cup, and always bring me back to myself, and has connected me with the most amazing, beautiful women in my life. So I'm really, really grateful to yeah, commune with her, to share her, to study with her, and yeah. Um,
Could you share more about how your journey with cacao led you to Guatemala and also working with cacao from Ecuador, right?
mhm.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about that journey.
Yeah. So it's funny, I never went to Guatemala actually seeking cacao. It just it found me, and same way with like cacao coming onto my path. Like I was saying, I was working with it as a superfood. Um, but then, on my journey of like going into other holistic health practices for healing, I found yoga, I found plant medicine, I found other energy practices that opened me up to ceremony. And so, um, yeah, it just the Ecuadorian cacao came along my path through a partner that we were going deep on the medicine path with, and felt really called to share heart songs. And I'm a musician, I'm a singer as well, and we were opening ourselves to a ceremony of communion with cacao that we can sit with in prayer and song and spirit. So this actually came through my partner at the time, and I was been working with that one for over 10 years, and it's one of my favorites that um yeah, just one of my favorites. It's very soft and feminine, and has this delicious, delicious taste. Um, and then I, as my studies unfolded, I ended up going to Peru for a yoga teacher training and earth medicine. It was like a combined yoga shamanism path. And so I sat in like my first cacao ceremony in Peru, like official ceremony. And it totally blasted open my heart, and it just confirmed like I wanted to deepen my path with cacao and with plant medicine. And um, so my teachers are from, well, they're based in Guatemala.
Mm.
Um, and I didn't really have a plan to go there at all, but I was really interested in continuing my yoga shamanism path with my teachers. And so I was invited to do an apprenticeship
Mm.
and to support a 200-hour yoga teacher facilitation on earth medicine. And at first, I was invited. My top pick was Bali, like the place that I wanted to go. And then the world shut down with the pandemic. So like a month before, I was gonna like quit my job and just like take this whole new a journey. Yeah, everything shut down. So the apprenticeship was paused for another year. And the invitation came for me to do it in Guatemala this time. And so I took that opportunity and went to Guatemala for the first time, and was yeah, deep in this immersive experience with yoga and earth medicine. And we we go through like the three worlds, the lower, the middle, the upper world. And I had the opportunity to like bring in plant medicines for each of those worlds and make a group yoni steam. So we like went out into our neighbor's garden and all like connected with the herbs there and picked herbs for our yoni steam. And that was the first time I did a yoni steam with a group of women, and it was so beautiful, so powerful, and like this deep remembrance of like,
Mm.
like this is kind of what like I've done this before in like another life or something. I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
like this.
I felt I also did it in Guatemala my first time, but with tobacco and other one in the Mayan massage course. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. And so that was kind of like the what that experience was when I first started Daughter of Earth,
Mm.
um, making my agua de Florida. I brought that to
Mhm.
Guatemala and shared that with sisters, and our training group ended up to be all women.
Mm.
It was really interesting to just be also for the first time like spending a month with only women. that was my first experience like that and completely changed everything. Just I felt called to work more with women. Um, there was just such inspiring sisters in that training that we shared all about the yoni verse and like doing yoni steams together and all working with the plants. And it was just so beautiful. And I was like, the world needs more of this
Mhm.
remembrance. So I started doing women's circles and yeah, eventually my path, I was doing women's circles with cacao and sound ceremonies with cacao after that. Um, and then I was invited back to Guatemala for a songwriting retreat. And I had the opportunity to offer a workshop on the voice as medicine
Mm.
and using the voice as I like our healing tool. So we also worked with cacao and other plant medicines on this retreat. And then I met my beloved, my partner on that retreat. And he lives there full time. He's from France, European, and so I was called back again to Guatemala for love. And um, during that trip, I also had the opportunity to go to the cacao forest for the first time and learn from a women's collective that grew the cacao and that hand processed it. And that was just such a beautiful part of my journey with cacao and deepening to its roots. And um, so there was like seeds planted like along my journey that like a little bit like every time I went to visit Guatemala, it was like a little bit de calling me a little bit deeper. And um and yeah, and then I had visited like Lake Atitlan is where I go, and it's such a mecca for spiritual teachings and for teachers and for just sharing of this loving consciousness and also just receiving that deeper wisdom from the indigenous wisdom that's there from the Mayan traditions. So yeah, eventually I went back maybe like 3 or 4 times and um, got to and so as my journey's unfolding, I'm now like m meeting my beloved. I'm on this fertility journey now, and so I'm been really called to deepen in my womb wisdom and um, also had some really powerful experiences in the south of France on a Mary Magdalene pilgrimage that um, is just, yeah, really fortifying this heart womb connection. Um, so I even reached out to you, Danielle. You were the first person that I thought about when I was going back to Lake Atitlan, and I was kind of like in this contemplation of like wanting and being called to be more of service to women in the womb journey. And I was contemplating like, is like, do I could become a doula? Do I become a midwife? Like, what is it that wants to take form? And I think it's going to continue to take its form. But um, I, yeah, I knew that Guatemala was, the midwives there really like such huge wisdom keepers for the womb and for cacao. And so there was just a lot of connections there already that were drawing me to deepen my studies there. And so when I reached out to you, I was in search of a teacher of a like a womb something. I don't remember what I asked you, but I was like, whatever training you did, like Well, I want to know what you did because I was so fascinated by your womb journey as well. And
Mhm.
um, yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
we both so I was because I feel you so intertwined with Guatemala that I was just surprised that you hadn't already met Doña Dominga and Mario and yeah, the womb massage training that they offer there. And Doña Dominga works with dreams. Like she learned, I think at 7 years old, just how to put her hands on a pregnant woman's belly and like move the baby. And she would receive all these messages through her dreams. And she has a very strong connection to herbs and medicinal plants and also cacao and tobacco. Yeah, let's share about that. Yeah, what you received from that training, how your experience was. I'm really curious because I participated in 2021, so almost 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, in the
mhm.
Mayan abdominal massage womb course.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so funny that you say that you're surprised I didn't meet them because there were so many signs, right? And that I didn't listen to, even like took me to like the last minute where the day of the training was starting.
Mhm.
When you told me her name and I kind of just like um you're like there's not really you just kind of have to go and listen for her name or find a flyer or something. And so I kind of just like let it go. I was like, well, it'll present itself, right? So when I was out there, I actually got connected through another sister to this woman, Odelia, that she's coming from Tecpan, which is like 2 hours away from the lake, and wanting to share her practice called Soplar. And this is done in Temescal with like over 100 degrees. Very, very intense womb healing where she uses the steam from the sweat in the Temescal as medicine. She also does cervical checks and uses the steam from the herbs like we would for smudging, right? But instead she kind of brings the smoke in her mouth and she blows it into the yoni.
Wow.
Yeah, I went on like a weekend immersion into that. And she, like many of the Mayan midwives I'm learning have been taught in their dreams. So she was one of these midwives that her ancestors were coming into her dreams and showing her that she was going to be working with pregnant women and with giving birth.
Mhm.
So yeah, just hearing her story and um, even her like hesitations where she was like, I don't know if I could do this, like I don't know anything. But then, she kept just having like dreams of, which plants she would be using on the women. And she had this really healing experience where the a pregnant woman was had come to her because the other midwife, was not there anymore. Maybe I don't know where, but she came to Odelia and was like, "You're gonna help me give birth." And she's like, "Oh no, I don't know. That's not what I do." But like meanwhile, she's having dreams of doing this. So, anyways, just an incredible story of her delivering this baby that came out like not breathing, and how she used the plants that she's been taught in her dreams to like and the massage too to bring back the breath and the cry of the baby. So yeah, just really beautiful, touching stories. Yeah, really beautiful practice that she shares. And then during that training or that immersion I was in, I met some other sisters that um, Oh, so before that, when I was trying to help Odelia try and the woman that was helping her bring her to find a space for her to offer. And so I was reaching out to people in the community. Everybody kept sending me to Mariu and and still like there wasn't something that was clicking. I was like, I had connected them, but I still wasn't like I don't know. It didn't click till I was in the immersion where there was a couple other sisters that were about to start the abdominal massage training with Mariu. And I got this message the next day after the immersion, which was the day that the training started, that I had to do it. And I was like, I reached out to her and it ended up to be okay. She's like, I normally don't do this, but you can come in. We've already started. I'll do a makeup session for you. But yeah, such a incredible experience to be working with the Mayan wisdom and grandmothers of this medicine. Really such an honor, and it's very deep, very deep. Um, we had ceremonies every day, praying with the Nawals, which is like their energies of the cosmovision, and praying to the fire with the tobacco, and yeah, doing yoni steams in circle of women and learning the massage to do it on ourselves and to do it for others. Um, yeah, and mostly this Mayan abdominal massage. This tradition comes from the midwives that uh, perform the massage typically like after birth. So it's really great for postpartum healing, but also great for any kind of like menstrual irregularities, balancing hormones, releasing anything like energetically, like ancestral imprints or, relational imprints, and really just connecting back to our own feminine power, that lineage, that thread of women that have come before us. And um, so yeah, receiving that from Donna Dominga in the Temescal was so powerful. Like she's such a grandmother, like grandmother energy, like so caring and like this massage can be intense, right? It's like really digging deep into the abdominal region and the womb that don't get receive touch, and a lot is held there.
Mhm.
So, um, she approaches with such a like grandmother tending, caring, loving energy, but it's deep work, so it can hurt sometimes, no matter like depending on what has been held there, what you're releasing. And so I remember she just like kept saying sorry, like when she was, because I mean, I was like crying and screaming, like all the women like in the Temescal is such an initiation.
Mm.
And um yeah, I just like saw like the ancestors, all the angels inside the Temescal. I was just so supported, like just really understood like that, you know, the women that are carrying this, it goes so far back. It's held by not like just a legion of women and grandmothers and ancestors. So it's really powerful, really deep. And
Yeah.
really honored to carry that and to be offering
Mm.
that medicine now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to share about my experience really quick because, just talking about it is I'm reliving that time in Guatemala, which was so potent for me. Because
Mhm.
I was with a partner in Tulum and we were going to Guatemala and we actually split up in Tulum before going to Guatemala. And I still felt like a really strong call to be in Guatemala and like at Titlan. It was like many, many years the lake was calling to me. And it was in this during this time I was starting to have like dreams and like visions of midwife remembrance. And I remember I went to this man who makes drums and I was just like he's kind of a shamanic man and gives messages and I was telling him about these dreams I was having about um I forget there was multiple dreams. I think there was the pregnant women dreams and there was a dream where I was catching a baby. A woman was like squatting and her baby was coming out and I had like placed rose petals at her feet and was delivering her baby. Or I was just, supporting her delivery of her baby. And I was like crying when I told him this. And then a few days later, I saw the sign for the Mayan womb massage, and like the date was the next week. And I was like, yes, I'm doing it. And yes, it was a very, very powerful week of just remembrance of these codes and working with my hands. I always love like working with energy and like touching people hands on, and the womb is such a sacred place. And for me to receive that transmission, so I had gotten back together with my partner on Mayan New Year. And then I did the massage course in March, like the month after, and it was just so clear that I needed to cut the cords of this, this partner that just wasn't truly valuing and respecting me. And in the same week of that Mayan womb massage course and me separating again from this partner, my Thai grandmother passed away. And I remember I FaceTimed her and was telling my aunt to like put her hands on my Thai grandmother's womb and like just touching the organs and like the spleen. I think she had like cancer in her spleen, which I know you study Chinese medicine. It's really connected to worry and the kidneys and fear. And anyway, she was having a lot of internal bleeding and I remember just being on the dock one night at the lake, like looking at the moon, and just felt this like ancestral pain. And I
Mhm.
like screamed, and it was just so much to like ha feel my grandmother passing, like the energy of her passing, all the ancestral karmic imprints in my womb, and at the same time be separating from this partner. But it
Mhm.
was so magical because all my life force energy came back. I was also making like copal oil, rose medicines, yoni steams. I think I was working with Blue Lotus and I was making like these candles. Like I was just being so creative and I remember I went to this festival at I think Gaia Temple and I like brought all my medicines to sell and I made like $500, which was a lot for me at that time because I was still kind of living the hippie life. I wasn't really in my feminine entrepreneurship. Um, and that's like what brought me to Peru. So then after that chapter in Guatemala and that death, I was rebirthed and did a 2-week plant dieta in the jungle with the Shipibo lineage, and then created my first course. And now I'm back in Peru, and we met in Peru. So just
Yeah.
met 3 years ago, and yeah, we had a little medicine exchange. I think I received
Hey, it's
like
the
your body.
cacao oil.
Yes. It was
Mhm.
just really beautiful, like to see how our paths have interwoven.
Mhm.
Yeah, with these sacred places and these sacred lineages and medicines and practices. And yeah, like to be able to offer to women, I'm calling in a space to start offering in California, and I'll be in San
Mhm.
Diego. But
Nice.
anyway, it's just, I love it. I feel like so grateful for this full circle connection and just how we met in Peru and like had a conversation. And now we're having this conversation and just sharing even more the wisdom that we've received. So I would love to go into yoni steams and talking about herbs now to
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, so yoni steaming has been such a ritual for me too, like since
Mm.
I was on this journey of like balancing my hormones and just tending to my womb. And yeah, it was one of like the first womb practices that I started to do. Just because I love the plants and I love things that are actually like I'm a Taurus in
Mm.
many
Yes.
parts of my chart. So I love physical practices, like things like when you said, like love to do, that's why I love to do the massage because I love using my hands, making medicines and, the physical act of like preparing a yoni steam is so powerful and so connecting. So yeah, this practice of yoni steaming is an ancestral practice that since ancient times, women have gathered around the fire, the water, the herbs, and offering prayers to the plants, to the womb as sacred medicine. So yoni steaming is also known as vaginal steaming or pelvic steaming or womb steaming. To the Mayan midwives, it's known as bajos. And it's this practice of sitting over a warm infusion of the plants, picking specific ones that are, tailored towards your intentions, but mostly just providing gentle nourishment, warmth, and purification to the womb space. So this practice is cleansing, it's nourishing for your reproductive health, for fertility, for postpartum. Um, Using a postpartum like helps to like energetically like seal that energy, that portal, but also yeah, like to nourish back the wombs and the yoni after birth, releasing toxins, also trauma, ancestral imprints, and and this practice really just helps connect a woman back to their feminine, like their feminine center, their feminine vitality. I've had lots of creative ideas that have come through yoni steams. I've had deep remembrances that come, insights, and all of that. Sometimes it's just a very relaxing thing to do, a little ritual. Um, so yes, just some benefits is emotional release, so softening any kind of grief or trauma, tension held in the pelvic bowl, bringing menstrual harmony, so promoting regularity and ease over time. Um, my favorite time to, and like a potent time to do the yoni steam is in your luteal phase, which is
Mm.
your menstrual phase, for fertility support. It's great to prepare the womb as a sacred vessel for postpartum recovery, like I talked about, supporting tissue repair and energetic closure, creative reconnection, awakening sensuality, creativity, empowerment, intuition, and inner voice, and a spiritual ritual. So, honoring the womb as a sacred portal and altar, creating that sacred space for yourself. Um, yeah, it can be practiced monthly as a ritual or just like in harmony with your cycle for, things that you're working like intentionally on more immersively, I guess. Like like healing cysts or fibroids or something, for example.
Can you share some of the herbs that you're working with for all of these things?
Yeah. So red raspberry leaf is one of my favorite herbs. It's a uterine tonic. It strengthens and tones the womb lining. It's really rich in nutrients. Um, Calendula is great. It's really also nourishing, anti-inflammatory, supports tissue healing and uterine cleansing. Um, Motherwort is a really beautiful one for the feminine cycles and just like the initiations, I feel like with fertility and motherhood and postpartum, and just like nurturing our inner mother, um, working on the emotional layer, um, but also, yeah, it's working on the uterus and balancing hormones. Gosh, there's so many. Um,
Sage.
Sage, yeah, sage is a great one. I work with sage a lot, the garden herb and also the white sage. Um, Ruda is one that, I first discovered in Guatemala. And it's a very powerful protective herb. A lot of, in some traditions, they'll plant rue outside of their homes to like protect their home. They're energetically, against, bad spirits or something. Um, and it's important to be really mindful about using this herb because it can be used as an abortive. Um, and I wouldn't recommend just going into that, um, but if you're using like a little amount in your yoni steam, it can be really clearing and really powerful for energetic protection and clearing
Yes.
that.
Tobacco and mapacho as well. That's
Mhm.
part that I learned from these lands, from Guatemala and Peru. Yeah,
Yeah.
can be strong. I like to soften, like if I am steaming with tobacco, to soften with rose or like chamomile, lavender. Um, yeah, it definitely depends. Like as you know, both you and I are both holistic practitioners. We tune into the woman and what she's needing and the energies that she's needing to before choosing the herbs. Like it's not one size fits all. Uh,
Yeah.
and also mugwort is coming through. I really like to steam with mugwort in my luteal before my moon because it just
Mhm.
opens up like that psychic protection. It helps to relax the uterus. It is a menagogue, so it will help to bring on the blood. And also rosemary. I love rosemary. I
Yeah.
steamed with rosemary in my last moon cycle because, it changes a lot when you're working with strong plant medicines and in a different country. My moon cycle was a lot longer than it ever has been, but it was honestly like the most perfect aligned timing. And I steamed with rosemary literally the day before, and then my blood came, and I felt like because Rosemary gets the blood moving, she's so ancestral, she's connected to remembrance, and I always connect with Rosemary to like ancient priestess times. Like I feel like it's a very European herb, and same with mugwort and yeah, Artemisia vulgaris from Europe and Artemisia douglasiana is the mugwort, the California mugwort, which the Chumash Indians would work with this mugwort for divination and dreams and also like yeah, midwifery, um,
Mhm.
preconception, postpartum, all this stuff. So I love the
Yeah, bringing in rosemary because yeah, she's almost always in I grow rosemary in my garden, and that's another thing too is like what using the fresh herbs
fresh.
from the
Yeah,
garden
yeah.
is great. I mean, you can use the dried herbs, but connecting to the plants in your garden, like I all of a sudden have this like huge geranium plant that I was like,
Wow.
oh, like how do I work with you? So she's been coming in my yoni steams lately, and um, yeah, and chamomile is a great one. Rosemary, yeah, really great. Nettle also um, really nourishing to the womb, the body, very mineral rich. And yeah, and then they all have their own, spirit, which you're kind of tapping into. So
I love that you're making blends and picking them from your garden and just like the synergistic quality of the blends of herbs is really beautiful.
mhm.
Making me want to steam right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Is there anything else you want to share? I actually would love for you to share your song before we close. Let's just try it. I really feel like, yeah, I want to hear
Okay.
it.
Great. Yeah, this is well, when we originally talked, I have a song called Life is a Ceremony that's available on Spotify and YouTube and all of that. And originally you had asked me to sing this one, but I I'm writing this song, or I wrote this song.
Mm,
And maybe it's finished. I still don't know, but um, let me just pull it up. I wrote this in Guatemala, and it's a
perfect. It's a what?
it's a women's song.
Mm. Do you want to sing a cappella or do you
Um,
are? We can try.
I can try with the guitar, and maybe just keep it low.
Hmm.
Let's see how that goes. Okay.
Yay. What's the name of the song?
It's called Wise Woman Rising.
Mm.
And yeah, I realized how much like the cacao and the womb wisdom and like my voice are connected. And yeah, I've been working a lot with moving the energy from the womb up to the heart, up to the voice, or like the throat.
Yeah.
And just make sure that. Okay, can you hear both me and the guitar?
I don't hear the guitar. Let's see. Let me
Yeah.
pause it really quick.
Recording in progress.
We come from the belly of the mother, singing storylines of our bloodlines, songs of the warrior, the queen, the priestess sing. We are the wise woman rising, flames burning high, it's alive in me. The power of our wombs to heal, to create life, holding light
light in the darkest nights. We are woman. We are woman. I am a woman. Reclaiming our truth, moving with the moon, bleeding on the earth, gathering the herbs, doing the work of our ancestors, healing DNA, leading a new way, courageous in the face of change, releasing shame, raw and naked, that's the way we came, and that's the way we'll go back to the mother. We are the wise woman rising, flame burning high, it's alive in me. The power of our wombs to heal, to create life, holding light in the darkest nights. We are woman, we are woman. I am a woman. Shoo. There's another verse, let me sing it. We are the wise, wise ones, beaming from the ancient sun, holding the codes for the new days to come. Sisters of the rose, hold your power close. Your body is a temple, natural and sensual, worthy of pleasure and all the earth's treasures. And we are the rivers, the roots and the flame, keepers of wisdom, call out our names. Daughters of the earth, lovers of the land, rise in your magic, take back your hands, put them in the soil, weaving a new earth. Live your life as art, follow in your heart, and know that you are worth it. We need to hear your voices. So sisters, dance your dance, ooh, and sing your songs. Darling, know you are the one, and we are the ones we've been waiting for. So hold my hand, walk through the door, 'cause we are the wise woman rising, flames burning high, it's alive in me. The power of our wombs to heal, to create life, holding light in the darkest nights. We are a woman, we are a woman. I am a woman.
Recording in progress.
We come from the belly of the mother, singing storylines of our bloodlines, songs of the warrior, the queen, the priestess sings. We are the wise woman rising, flames burning high, it's alive in me. The power of our wombs to heal, to create life, holding light in the darkest nights. We are a woman. reclaiming our truth, moving with the moon, bleeding on the earth, gathering the herbs, doing the work of our ancestors, healing DNA, leading a new way, courageous in the face of change, releasing shame, raw and naked. That's the way we came, and that's the way we'll go back to the mother. 'Cause we are the wise woman rising, flames burning high, it's alive in me. The power of our wombs to heal, to create life, holding light in the darkest nights. We are a woman, we are a woman, I am a woman. And we are the wise, wise ones, beaming from the ancient sun, holding the codes for the new days to come. Sisters of the rose, hold your power close. Your body is a temple, natural and sensual, worthy of pleasure and all the earth's treasures. And we are the rivers, the roots and the flames, keepers of wisdom, call out our names. Daughters of the earth, lovers of the land, rise in your magic, take back your hands, put them in the soil, weaving a new earth. Live your life as art, follow in your heart, and know that you are worth it. We need to hear your voices. So sisters, dance your dance, ooh, and sing your songs. Darling, know you are the one. And we are the ones we've been waiting for. So hold my hand and walk through the door. 'Cause we are the wise woman rising, flames burning high, it's alive in me. The power of our wombs to heal, to create life, holding light in the darkest nights. We are a woman, we are a woman, I am a woman.